You're listening to the Tribe Nail Tech podcast, where nail techs find inspiration and motivation to take their career to the next level. We welcome you here. Now tribe up and slay your day. Here is your host, Becky Bunnell.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to this episode of Tribe Nail Tech podcast. Today, I got my special guest here, and my nail friend, Amy Masters, is in the house. Hi, Amy.
Hi, Becky. Hello, everybody.
How are you doing?
Oh my gosh, that's a big question.
That's a big question. Amy has had a lot of life changes right now. She's coming to us from Dayton, Wyoming, and tell everybody what you've been going through for the last little while, because you've had so many things.
Yeah. Well, 2020 was supposed to be that you and I were doing a lot of our traveling around doing our Six Certs class, doing nail shows and just focusing so much on the education side. You have an education center and we were ready to thrive and go. Mm-hmm. But we started our year off of that way and we got one done and then COVID hit. Yeah. And that kind of shut everything down. From then I was like, well, what am I going to do now? Because I can't work. I can't travel to work. I needed some side hustles, which I did already kind of have in place. And then I picked up more, used the time off to be able to get extra education and to teach as well, which was a lot of fun. But the biggest thing during this time, my husband went to the National Guard. Mm-hmm. While he was gone, we got contacted to adopt a baby, which we've been trying to do for 6 years. So now I'm a new mom again. And my 20-year-old daughter, which was my baby, just got married 2 weeks ago. So we planned a wedding, adopt a baby, created some side hustles, getting back to work, getting, to teaching, all of it.
And your older son decided he was moving back. Wasn't he in Texas?
Yeah, and he was. Yeah, and he actually just left this afternoon. He's house hunting. So I'm like, yeah, it started off kind of crazy. It's veered its own path. And as we well know, sometimes we have to pivot not only our careers, but our personal life and everything else. Whether there's a pandemic or not, you just have to learn to figure it out and go with the flow. I know I believe it's Amy Porterfield always says it's figure outable. It's either Amy Porterfield or Maria Forleo, so I apologize. And it's figure outable. And I remember that all the time, okay, well, what are we going to figure out now? And this year is definitely one of those years that it's figure outable.
Yeah, a lot of pivoting. I've been in the same situation. Same thing. I was happy where I was at. I had just gotten a new place and then COVID hit and it destroyed the landlord's business that I was renting from. And same thing. I was devastated. I was angry. I was bitter. I was just so what am I going to do? And had to search for a new place. And, same thing. It's sometimes we just get slammed with things in our lives and then we have to pivot. And then it's just wow, this couldn't have been any better for me. So on some sense, I'm well, thank you, COVID, for hitting, because you made me step out and I had to get, I got my very own place. It's my business. It's my building. I love it. I have 2 girls that are working for me. I've got 2 more apprentices starting. Everything just has fallen into place, even though in the midst of this horrible virus and all these things that have gone wrong. But what we wanted to talk about a little bit about today was not only the pivot, but kind of the side hustles, because a lot of us have really been affected with our businesses. Now, I've been fortunate here in Southern Utah. Our county never got shut down. So we were able to continue to work. I did take a couple weeks off because I had to figure out the homeschooling. I've still got 2 littles that are in elementary. And so I had to figure that out. It was really overwhelming to me with everything that had been happening, being told that I had to move out of the building, being told I had to now be a school teacher and did not want to do that at all. Was constantly worrying about every day, is today the day the health department's going to say, okay, you guys are done, you got to shut down, because parts of Utah did get shut down. Now there in Wyoming, you got shut down for months, and many states, countries are barely starting to open back up, and some started opening back up and then they shut them back down. So many of us nail techs have had to come up with some side hustles because we didn't have any income. Some of these ladies, no income, a lot of businesses, okay. So you couldn't take on clients. You're high risk as it was. And then of course, then you got this news that you were going to be able to adopt this baby, and it happened so fast. So another thing, you can't go back to work yet. You're technically kind of still on maternity leave, but then we're still in the midst of COVID. So with you being compromised, you can't. So, oh my goodness, let's talk about side hustles, because there are so many different things we can do that we've had to do. There are so many things that other nail techs are doing that we've talked about, heard about. So let's talk about side hustles. Like, gosh, they're pretty darn important, because if all you were doing was nails and you got shut down, you had no income. Now, you and I are lucky. We have online nail classes. So we both have websites that our classes are advertised on. And so that helped us. We were able to sustain ourselves with some of the classes. But like you said, we had planned on doing our tour this year and doing our 6 certs class in many different states, and that got shut down. I've got a few other side hustles. I sell the Nail Tech Tribe, the Tribe Nail Tech clothing line. So I was able to keep some sales going through there. But what other things have you heard that nail techs are doing, or that you have done, that has kept you afloat during this time where you have had no income coming in on actual clients?
Yeah. And so that was the hard part, because everything that I tend to do online is pretty much volunteer I give. So every week I do Tech Talk Live, which is an interview. We're the admin of Tech Talk Worldwide. But that doesn't produce income. That took time. Every Monday I go live with Masters Mindset Monday. I do it as a volunteer. I give it, and there's nothing in return. And so I had to resort to some old stuff. One, I had the time, so I was able to create a couple new workshops. And then, like, we did the virtual tour one for a new salon makeover. I really just gave and donated time to help boost the mindset. You and I've both been in the industry for many, many years, 28 years for me. Mm-hmm. And so with that, there's been a couple of times, not as bad as COVID, that I've been shut down because of oil fields, or I've been shut down because of, different things. And with that, it's been really difficult. And at that time is when I learned to have a little side hustle. So I used to have a business called Shabby Chic Boutique, and I would do vinyl, kind of like what you can see behind me here. Mm-hmm. I do vinyl stuff, and I would make signs and sell logos and create logos and stuff like that. I resorted back to that. Mm-hmm. I resorted to a lash business. And so what happened though is here's what happened with side hustles. With side hustles, you don't actually get into them to make money because you want to focus on your actual job. A side hustle to me sometimes just happens, and it happens to be flawlessly, and it just fits. And there's a trust that comes with it, because if you're going to try to sell somebody something, they're going to trust you on that. So I was having an allergic reaction to, let's just say, lash serum that I've used for 4 years. And here I was going live every week, and my eyes were super swollen and itchy, and I was having some issues, and I was like, I need to find a fix. And another hairdresser that I used to do her nails was advertising these lashes, and I was like, okay, well, I'm going to order me a pair. Within a day, she had messaged me and said, I'm making a lot of commission off of you. Why don't you sign up as an affiliate? Now, I've never been in a direct sales company. I've been in a service industry for all these years. I feel like I have to work on you to earn my money, right? And it happened really quick. And so what happened is I went live, and I had the lashes on. People were like, what are your lashes? And I was like, look, they're magnetic. I can pull them on and off. And I started making sales, and then the money comes. So you do it because it fits you. You do it because you're passionate about it. You like doing it. I love creating stuff like this, love the lashes. And then the money comes, and it turns into a side hustle. That's outside of, it can complement what you do as your career, but it's a side. So it means it's an additional thing that's separate. Mm-hmm. And that to me is the biggest thing. And there's a trust that comes with that. People trust, your review. They trust your opinion on that, and then they do that. So honestly, for side hustles, I've had quite a few little ones. Some people can babysit as a side hustle. They can do lawn care as a side hustle. It can be anything. You just have to use your imagination and kind of enjoy doing it.
Right. And a lot of nail techs resorted to doing press-ons. So
Yes.
that hit big, and I've seen just a lot of nail techs starting to post that and designing these nail tips and, measuring them to customize them to, their clients. And a lot of them were able to do that. A lot of them were making little take-home kits, like how to soak these off, how to maintain them, when they were doing the side, pickup, so I've seen a lot of people doing that. Making masks. I've seen a lot of nail techs that have switched to making masks in this time, and Genesis Ward is one of them, and Eileen.
Oh, it gave me goosebumps.
Yes, so there are many that turn to that. So, oh my goodness. So sometimes, like talk about pivoting. Maybe they didn't have that side hustle before, but they pivoted and they were like, hey, what can I do right now that's going to help others? And they've been able to make a little bit of an income off of them to try to, of course, it's not always supplementing exactly what we were getting off of our clients, but then just as an average everyday thing, like, I think it's great for nail techs because you talked about the trust issue, and they trust us. Our clients trust us. So what we're selling, they're usually buying. And sometimes people are a little bit afraid to start suggesting products to them or this or that, but it's pretty simple when, like you're using them, like you said, you put the eyelashes on, your clients see you, and then they're just like, okay, well, if you like them, I trust you, like, because they trust us with their nails, right? And so a lot of times it's just such an easy sell. So it's a great way to make some extra income, because with our jobs, we know our work, our hands-on is what we get paid for. There are only so many hours in a day, so many hours in a week, so many hours in a month and a year that we can work. So sometimes we're tapped out at the amount of money we can make, right? We can raise our prices, we can do this, we can do that, we can do add-on services, but then to a certain extent, we're kind of tapped out. So these add-ons, these side hustles can increase your income greatly just by, using the product ourselves. Talking about the cuticle oil, candles, like I have candles in my salon, I have the leather earrings, I have all those little side things that it's like I enjoy, that I use in my home and I wear every day. And so my clients naturally will buy them because they're there. So sometimes it's just really not that hard. It's just having them and having them available and talking about them, or just using them.
This podcast is being sponsored by So-Gel Nails. It's time to make the switch to an odor-free, self-leveling, strong, cost-effective hard gel nail system that has stay power. Check them out at sogelnails.com/contest for a chance to win a free gel kit.
My favorite thing about a side hustle is that you're supporting a friend, because most people with side hustles, like you said, it's not usually their primary source of income. And usually, I hate the word hustle, because hustle to me is like, you're hustling kind of thing. But really, I embrace the word this year because I realized that it's a side gig, it's a side hustle, it's a side job, but it's not my career. I already chose a career and I can still continue to do that. This is something on the side I get to do. And it still takes work. Yeah. You still have to invest time. Usually you have a beginning investment in product or whatnot, but you are supporting another person that you actually know. So like Paparazzi Jewelry, I know that I ordered these from Sarah. So I love that I'm supporting her small business. I love that I have t-shirts and aprons from you, and that's supporting your small business. I actually have your Ashman candles. Yes. I love them, and I love that I'm supporting you rather than supporting getting them at a big box store or whatnot. That my favorite thing about a side hustle is that I know who I'm supporting, right? And that blows me away.
Yeah. And when I think of side hustle, to me, it's just like, that boss babe, this hardworking. It's like, let's not sit around and be a victim and be like, okay, well, this happened to me and I don't have any money and this and that. It's like, no, hustle to me is like, hey, we're going to go for it. We're going to do what we got to do to be able to keep going at what we're, so that when all this blows over, we're back to doing nails again too. Like, we got to keep going and keep pushing, and we can get through this. We're going to get through this. And like I said, a lot of A lot of people out of states have, but I don't know that it's over yet. It's kind of driving me crazy. It's just like, it's this roller coaster, because we took a long time. Our numbers weren't here forever. Now our numbers are starting to rise a little bit here. And so I don't know. It's just, I think we're just so up in the air. We don't know what's going to happen from day to day. It's just, you know what I mean? More clients before, I was like, I don't know one person that's been tested for COVID. I don't know one person that's died of COVID. I don't know one person that's been in the hospital of COVID, and now it's getting a little bit more real. It's like, people are like, I've got clients calling me and saying, I just got tested, so I'm waiting for the results to get back. So I don't know about my appointment. And I kind of get that little bit of that stomach ache, like, oh my gosh, or what if it, and luckily every client that's called me to say that, it's all come back negative. Thank heavens. But it's a little nerve-wracking right now. I can say that.
But it's also the same thing. So let's forget that there's a pandemic. Okay. Each of us in our lives have had to take off time because of maternity leave. I'm on maternity leave right now. We've had to take time off for health. We've had to take time off because we had the flu. We've had to take time off because our kids had the flu. We've had to take time off for vacations. All the good, whether it's vacations and fun that we've had to take time off or to move, like what you've just had to do, or it's because of something bad. If you don't have something else supplementing it, then you're missing out. Right. And so to be able to take a week off for vacation, I want that to be paid.
Yes.
And so sometimes it's going to take a side hustle to pay for that, or have the extra money to do that for, and you put that money into a savings account, because it's not always a lot of money, but it adds up. And so no matter what it is, whether it's a pandemic or not, now this is the longest I've been off of work. Now I could have went back to work because we naturally opened up just a couple weeks ago, but I have a brand new baby. And like you said, I'm autoimmune compromised, like not good. And so how much do I want to put myself out there at risk, because I'm finally feeling good. My son is healthy. My family's healthy. So if I open, what could happen? But am I, it's that wavering thing back and forth. We can protect ourselves as much as we can against anything, the flu, a cold, any superbug that's out there. But the reality check is what are you going to do when your only source of income comes from one revenue? Yeah. You have to create multiple. I think, what do they say? 3 to 5 sources of income is what you need to have to be able to make it through, let alone what Dave Ramsey promotes of 3 months into your savings, things paid off. So if something does happen, you lose your job, or, you're laid off, or, something like this happens, at least you have a backup plan. And thank goodness we did. Yeah. I know a lot of people didn't. And that's where, the money mindset comes in, where we got to be able to support each other and encourage them to get into, a little side thing or whatever, and help guide people that sometimes, like you said, that victim mentality, sometimes they are tunnel visioned and they can't see the bigger picture, and you can, and you're like, hey, have you ever thought about this? I see this as a strength in you.
Right.
Have you ever thought about doing this and being the light for another?
Right. Because there are so many options out there of things we can do. And like you talked about with vacations, I remember last year on spring break, same thing. Okay, I took a week off, so I'm not going to do any clients that week. So I didn't have any income coming that week. So I sat in my camp trailer and I put all my online classes on sale, and I made more money that week than I would have been there at Nails. And my husband's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, just give me a second. Got to add these people. I went live. I got to add these people to these classes. And I'm like, okay, I'm good. I just made my income for the whole week. I made more than what I did sitting home doing nails. He's like, okay, Yeah. So blessed that we've got that in our lives. But like you said, you need to have some backup plans. And do you think that, you talked a little bit about, the savings and what COVID has kind of, put people in a really bad situation, because some people were not able to get unemployment, or the pandemic unemployment, or any kind of thing. It's really tricky. Different states with, being self-employed, it's just a whole nother ball game. It's just so weird. And if you didn't file enough taxes, and if you're not showing that you've made any income, if you're always coming up with enough deductions that you're showing a loss on your business every year, well, then when something like this happens, there's no help for you, because it's it's not showing you made any income. So I think probably a lot of lessons have happened through this that people have had to realize, like, okay, I need to rethink my business and what I'm doing, what I'm not doing. Do I have a savings account? Am I putting enough money away every month? Well, for the reason if something happens like this, but not even only that, but let's just say, we had a nail tech that broke a wrist recently out of Vegas. And well, you can't do nails with a broken wrist. She wasn't expecting that or planning that. Did she have any savings? Did she have anything to get her by? We never know what's going to happen to us. And I think this has been kind of a little bit of a life lesson for a lot of people, or it should be a wake-up call for most of us, that we need to kind of think about what we're doing and rethink and plan and be more prepared, not just with toilet paper.
Yeah.
I was panicked for a minute. I couldn't find any for a couple of days. I'm like, what the crap? I've got one roll left. Just kidding.
So very, yeah. And it's interesting because through my life, I've had illnesses. Okay. So like you and I taught cruise on a cruise. When I got home, I had mild embarkment. 3 months.
Yeah.
I couldn't even hold my head up. I had was pure wobble and had to get physical therapy, and it triggered, my other ailments that I have. That was unexpected. That was the longest I'd been off work. Now I'm getting close. But through my life, I've had continuous things that have made me realize I need another source of income. I need another trade. I need to know other things. I used to be an EMT. I was an orthodontist assistant. I've worked at a bank. I do have other skills than just this. And so that so while we were here, so in March when we were shut down, my website renewed, and I had to come up with a lot of money for that. But because of me knowing what my overhead is for the year, me knowing what my costs are for the year to run my business, what I need to have set aside, that was already planned and budgeted in that account. So that when surprises come up, then all of a sudden you're not just like, I have to shut down. I can't do this. No, you got to set yourself up for success. And it's your mindset, it's dedication, it's getting to classes, like we both have online classes. In both of our classes, every class that we teach, like I actually have one called Keeping Profits in Your Pockets. But every class that you and I teach, we talk about the profit margin, what we should be making per hour, what we should be charging for that. And so with that, it's important to know, no matter what business you're in, what's your budget, what's your savings, what do you need for the whole year? And so that way, when your annual things come up, you're not like, oh my gosh, where am I going to come up with $195 to pay for my licensing that you knew was coming up, every year? How much, it's like your automobile, like my truck is getting ready where I need to renew the sales tax on it. And it's like, I don't want to pay that. When it's going to be. It's not a surprise. And your business should never be a surprise unless it's then all of a sudden like your hot water heater goes out or the furnace goes out. However, you should always budget for the repairs and maintenance on something.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's so important. But like I said, in that, first off and foremost is if you're charging what you're supposed to be charging. So like you said, knowing the numbers, because it's so sad to me when I see so many people advertising their prices and this and that. I just kind of look at it and I'm just like, oh, if they only knew, you're really not making anything. You're making minimum wage. Do you become a nail tech to make minimum wage? I didn't. And it makes me really sad because
Yeah, but Becky, how many years did it take for us to be profitable in our businesses? Because we didn't know, because we fell into what somebody else taught us, or we fell into like, oh, well, I'm going to charge what somebody else charges, even though I do better work. How many years did it take for us to have the mindset to go, I'm worth this, and to get the education to say, I'm worth this? It reminds me of crafters. Crafters never charge what they're worth and what they put in. Your t-shirts, look at the time, the hours, the design layout, the labor that it puts in there, the packaging, the shipping, everything that goes into that, the advertising. And yet we'll like, oh, I'll just charge $1 for it. It costs you more than $1 for that. But they're like, I'll just do this. Our businesses are the same way. Our side hustles are the same way. No matter what you're in, know your costs, figure out the time. How much do you want to make? There's formulas out there. Our message, one of us will help you with that, because we can have side hustles. We can have fun doing all of these things.
Right.
But if you're not profitable, how long are you going to be successful?
Yeah. And think of it this way, guys, too, is like, we can work less hours and not as hard. That these side hustles can kind of fill in the gaps, so have your nail prices where they need to be, but these little side hustles or this little retail you have on the side and stuff like that can fill in the gaps so that you're not working 10 and 12-hour days, and you're not killing yourself off. Because I know me, like I said, 27 years in the business, you feel it too. And a lot of people have made this comment. They took a little bit of time off with the COVID thing, and then going back to starting it, your body is killing you because you're out of shape again for doing your nails, for doing your daily job. And your bodies start getting broke down. So, work smart, find you a side hustle. What else do you want to say about side hustles, Amy?
We always look at side hustles as like, it's a job, it's money. Okay. I want you to look at it a little bit different. When I work, even in the salon, I work to maintain my salon. I work to give myself an income so that I can help benefit with my family. I work for fun, but ultimately my main thing that I really want to do that I'm most passionate about is I work because I want to donate and give back. So if you're just breaking even on the business and you're not able to maintain for your family, you're not able to get a massage to, get yourself all loosened up, you're not able to support another person in their business, you're not able to give back and do the next level, what are you spending all your time doing? All you're going to do is continue to be exhausted and be in pain. But when you can work to the level where you've built up and now you're giving back and you're being able to do it for free, or you're being able to donate and give money for supplies or whatever it is, that is where we're supposed to be. That's why I do side hustles. That's why I work in the salon. I work my way up through everything, but that's where you have to be profitable to be able to do that. Mm-hmm. And you can't exhaust yourself or you don't enjoy it. And so that's kind of my finale on that. Whatever you choose, be passionate about it, have fun with it.
Have fun with it.
Exhaust yourself on something you don't like doing.
No, don't make it. It's more work. Side hustles are supposed to be fun, like you said, and give you that extra income to spoil yourself. And that is what's so fun about it, is when you've got this money flowing in and you're in abundance and you can do these fun things for yourself and take trips and take time off, because many people are like, I just can't take time off because, I can't afford it. Or, okay, well, you've got to reevaluate then, because you should be able to afford it. We should be making a good income. We should be able to have vacations. We should be able to get those massages. And if you aren't, like, you've got to reevaluate. Reevaluate, guys, because we want it to be fun. It shouldn't be hard.
Yes. And, be creative. You can customize your own side hustle. Like what you're saying with Genesis, you know what? She took a skill that she had. Somebody would ask me to make masks. I would not have a clue. I don't have a sewing machine. I don't even have an iron. Like, I couldn't even do like the sticky stuff or whatever. So really what it takes is for you following through your passion of what you enjoy doing. Ooh, the sun's coming out. I kind of like that. And follow through with what you enjoy doing. What's your superpower? What's your skill? Yeah. So be creative in that. Some people, like, I was talking the other day, there was, we were talking about people doing voiceovers. Now, I have a little bit of an animated voice, but my voice is too soft. So to like be truly animated, to like read a children's book is not for me. But I knew somebody that was, and I knew another person that was looking for somebody to read the book that they wrote. Mm-hmm. This person got paid to use their voice to read that person's book to help them sell. And then this person made a commission. I was like, I know the right people. So reach out and say, you know what, this is something I would really like to do. Voice it. And then put it like you talk a lot about vision boards. Put it on the vision board. I would love to do this. Who knows if it could ever turn into a side hustle or a job or whatever. Maybe start volunteering in it and perfecting it and getting education in it, and then going, you know what, I know how to do this, and then really throw it out there. Be creative and have fun with it.
Yeah. Awesome. I love it. So guys, hopefully you can reach out to us and let us know what your side hustles are. We've been watching, like I said, I've been watching a lot of this. It really had to get, people pivoted during COVID, and I got to see a lot of side hustles, which is so awesome. Some people are making the mugs, the tumblers, and the shirts, and like you said, the vinyl letters, the press-on nails. Oh my goodness. What else? The lashes, all kinds of things, makeup. Yeah. All good things. But I hope you find a side hustle, guys, and find something you enjoy that's your passion. And then it's not a second job. It's just something that's fun that comes along with it, that fills in those gaps and can increase your income for the year. So thank you, Amy. I know it all worked out. She put her baby down. Like she said, her husband got called in. The daughter's not there. The son's not there. And she's like, okay, great.
I'm walking around burping bearing going, oh my gosh, Becky, you know what? Just kind of wing it just a little bit, but I'll be there. We'll get there. We have been putting this one off for like a month now, guys. So we finally got it recorded. It's always a pleasure to have you, Amy. And we will sign off so that you can get back to baby anytime soon. But you can find, Amy, tell them where you can find you. Tell them your website, your Facebook, Instagram. Oh my gosh. The best way, because I have so many, is to do Linktree _masters1111. And that will get you to everything that I have, because I have a lot. Awesome. The nailsource.biz is the website too. Of course, you guys can find me. Just Amy Masters on Facebook. Find me there, and I'll steer you wherever you need to be for the rest, or get some connections. Becky, there's one thing though. You and I, gosh, has it been a couple of years now? We did Jumpstart Your Nail Business. Mm-hmm. Almost been 2 years ago. And from day one, there was a slogan that you and I did. And I know you just made T-shirts and stuff that says this. So I know this is your podcast and stuff, but it just ties in perfect to side hustles and everything else. So
let's do it.
Can we say it here?
Yeah, we're going to try. And guys, it might be a little delayed. It doesn't always work out the same when it's recorded, but we think we say it together. So we're going to go for it. So here we go. Are you ready?
Yes.
1, 2, 3. Tribe
up
and slay your day. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today on Tribe Nail Tech Podcast. I hope you subscribe. I hope you go through and watch all the other podcasts, and you continue to be here. And also, you can find me at Linktree, Nailed by Becky. So I have lots of different things on there too, and nailteched.com. So thank you so much, everybody, and thank you, Amy.